Why is it that there is a significant number of people in the world who died because of suicides?
Worldwide, common mental health disorders affect more than 300 million people.
Usually people who go through mental illness, they are looked upon as either mad, dangerous, weak.
In India, 80% of employees have showed symptoms of anxiety and 55% of employees have showed symptoms of depression.
Current mental health workforce in India stands at 7,000 mental health professionals, whereas the required mental health force is 55,000.
Out of those 1.7 million companies, only 1,000 companies actually run a formal EAP program.
Hi everyone, my name is Neeraj Doshi and I'm the founder and non-executive chairman of Save a Life Foundation. Now the best part about starting your own organization is that you can give any title you want yourself, right? But the funny bit is that last year when we were starting this institution of ours, I thought myself of a daydreamer. A daydream which came across as out of an adversity. And the dream was very simple. So it was me and my mother having a conversation at one point of time, and we said that smallpox has been eradicated in 1975. Polio is no more as an illness or a disease which exists anymore. So why is it that there is a significant number of people in the world who died because of suicides? So with that one particular thought, we came up with this pipe dream, as I might put it, that let's try and eradicate suicides by 2040. And that is where we started Save a Life Foundation last year. Obviously a pipe dream between a mother and a son which was having a conversation. And they say, right, when you have a dream seen alone usually remains a dream. But when you share that dream with a few people and they sort of start having the same dream with you, then you start making the steps towards a reality. So the idea was, so I think these guys are aware, we started a few pages. SAL was one page, right, as part of our social media content. और दूसरा पेज हमने बनाया SAM for Bollywood. Okay. Assuming that one of the parts is mental health को spread करना, तो इंडिया में क्या पिक्चर देखते हैं लोग, तो एक पिक्चर बनाते हैं और हीरो फ्री में चाहिए, हमको सब कुछ फ्री में चाहिए, right? नया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बना रहे हैं, तो SAM for Bollywood, director Shomita for Oscars. So we made a few and what a big hit this fellow was. We created a storyboard, उसको एक बाइक का इसका फोटो लेके सब with actresses behind. But then obviously all of us realized that mental health is a serious subject. At least what we're trying to do is noble. We can't blow away any cents. एक पैसा हम बर्बाद नहीं कर सकते behind movies or anything. Right now, when we ourselves don't know really how to go about running a mental health organization, किसी को experience होता है. So then I started thinking कि अगर इसको करना है, तो I have a lot of madness in me in terms of the energy, right? And there's a structure required if you want to run an organization. Not everyone is made to run an organization. Building is one piece, but running an organization requires a completely different skill set. मतलब सबसे सारे जो boring काम होते हैं ना, कि legal के पास जाओ, फॉर्म भराओ, finances manage करो, team manage करो, इतने सारी चीजें जो बात करना अच्छा लगता है काउंसलर से, people who are suffering, trying, but ये सब काम ऐसे नहीं होता है. So बचपन से जिसके साथ क्रिकेट खेले, you know, the guy who's handled all our money finances when we used to go on trips, there used to be something called common fund. So I used to trust this guy. कि कॉमन फंड ये संभालेगा, अक्षय संभालता है, इससे बेटर कोई संभालता नहीं. सो आई वेंट टू हिम एंड आस्क्ड हिम कि भाई को-फाउंडर बनेगा. इनसे अच्छा क्या करना है? बोला कुछ नहीं say वाले अब शुरू करेंगे and then धीरे करके I gave all the boring work to Akshay and then but no thankfully thank you so much Akshay. This again I would say this is the second year I mean taking to a second year right so thank you everyone but I think one person I always thank is Akshay because when a lot of people didn't stand with the idea I mean this idea was shared with a lot of people. The only person who stood by me right from the day I spoke about this idea till date, we are 1 year down, right? I mean, you guys joined in as well, but he was one of the first few guys who heard this and didn't leave. He held my hand, stood with me throughout the journey. And today, because of him, I'm proud to say that he's organized this team and got all of us together. He's a balancing act. I can sometimes vanish and I can be a little mercurial, but he's the solid steel backbone of our team. So thank you, Akshay, for
Thank you so much.
joining in and taking away all the.
No, I'm humbled. I mean, the way you spoke about it, and I really enjoyed it. I think for me personally, I'm okay to take all the boring work so that SAL gets the whatever the reach and whatever we plan to do, SAL gets into all of that, and the back end part can obviously be managed by me. And I obviously have so many people to work with, and like Anand, for example, do you remember like Wagh Bakri Tea Lounge and all that? Last year it was raining and we had samosas and dhokla and so many delicacies to munch upon, and trying to figure out how to get the foundation up and running and bring people into the work and all.
Yeah, so I came over to share some interesting work with you.
Yeah.
And we were we used to get so engrossed and in the brainstorming process, and we used to not realize how loud it used to go. And वो वाघ बकरी चाय में बैठे और पता नहीं चल रहा है, ऐसे लग रहा है हम भी यहाँ पे और हम ही सब रूल कर रहे हैं. And then Mitali used to join. She used to join a little bit late, but always on time. And the coffee is also on the table, and she's also on the table. So, wow, that was good timing, and that timing has always been there.
Okay, so thank you for ordering that coffee before I arrived. But yeah, so of course because Neeraj has been a friend for so long, and when he brought up SAL, I definitely not too sure whether how would I be able to contribute, but yes, I wanted to be a part of it. और उसको वैसे भी free में काम करने के लिए कोई मिल नहीं रहा था, so I thought ठीक है. तो this was my part of the story. Diksha, what about you? How did you get here?
Oh, Mitali, I know Akshay and Neeraj because of my hubby. ये तीनों लंगोटिया यार थे, and when Akshay
है
हाँ है okay और हमेशा रहोगे okay. So when Akshay and Neeraj discussed this idea of SAL, I don't know, it just clicked me instantly, and I said, yeah, Akshay, I'm doing it, And but you know what? मेरा तो ठीक है. I know these guys because of my hubby, but Aslesha का twist बहुत अच्छा है story.
Yes, I in fact even I am thinking कि कैसे हो गया, because I was always thinking कि I want to be dedicated to a cause. Being a therapist, I was functioning independently. तो one day morning आपका launch था, आप लोग तो सब एक दूसरे को जानते थे. So I just saw there is a cup of tea, बारिश हो रही है, and Save a Life Foundation. And that time you all started with suicide prevention. And that's when I said, you know what, this is for me. And I can say that voice has not changed till date. In fact, now I've grown with SAL, and I remember I reached that evening, and post launch I directly went to Neeraj. I heard his story. I was very touched with the stories, and I told Neeraj that I want to work with you. And I think that sync had established at that point of time, and all of you really welcomed me with an open heart. I can't forget it, and thank you so much, because I really feel like it's my baby now. And of course, all of you have made me like the mother of SAL, so I'm more than happy to take this responsibility. But what about you, Swati? Because I keep hearing from Akshay and Neeraj that एक साल, 1 month. So she's with us for a month. First of all, it doesn't feel like, it feels like you've been with us throughout. So what's your story?
Yeah, very interesting story, because I met Akshay and Neeraj a year and 3 months back, and we ordered lots of samosas. Like, Akshay, he's all about eating samosas and munchies, he loves all of that. So yes, it was lots of samosas, also pizzas and coffees that were ordered for me and for them as well.
So we all had a common sense in terms of what we like. So food is obviously a common interest, but we also found that we have a really keen and a deep interest in emotional health. So that's how we got connected, and that's why I'm here today and all of us together building the SAL team. So thank you guys for such a warm welcome.
आज सैनिटाइज किए कि नहीं?
Huh?
आज सैनिटाइज किए कि नहीं?
Oh, that, actually मैंने किए नहीं. Did you touch me?
Oh,
I touched you.
All of us have touched you. The first year with SAL, and today we are actually trying to celebrate the anniversary of SAL because it's exactly 1 year since the time we launched this organization. It's been a very humbling experience.
There are a lot of chaos around it. We never knew that we were planning to launch our company and take it to the next level.
हो दारू बदनाम करती
ऐसा लगता है किसी ने छू लिया हमको
म्यूजिक कौन है ये लोग कहां से आते हैं ये?
Hi, my name is Akshay Gandhi.
Hi, this is Ashlesha Deshpande from Save a Life Foundation. I am the chief psychotherapist here.
Hey, I'm Anand Shah. I lead the shared services at SAL Foundation, which comprises of human resources and legal aspects.
My name is Sameer Shinde. I head the marketing and productions for SAL.
Hi, I'm Mitali Shah. I lead the SAL Education Division.
Hi, my name is Diksha Rana and I head the SAL Operations Department.
I am Swati and I work very closely with corporates' emotional well-being.
My name is Irish Doshi, and I'm the founder and non-executive chairman of Save a Life Foundation.
Avengers! Assemble.
It's been a very humbling experience, to be honest, because that vision which we had, we figured out that it's such a complex and vast area, and there are hundreds of Samaritans, SALs and Urjas in India as well as abroad, and they haven't been able to completely slay the suicide menace. This entire year for all of us has been one great learning experience, but it's also a very humbling experience. We started with the vision of trying to eradicate suicides by the year 2030 in Asia and 2040 by all over the world. But when we started off with that dream, we didn't even know how to go about it, right? So as we have learned over the year, there are a few key learnings which have come to our minds as well as a team. So one of the biggest learning is that when a person reaches towards the end, the last mile, when a person has lost all hope, it's extremely difficult to save someone at that point. We are trying to pivot as a team from a suicide prevention company to a holistic mental health organization.
In the learning experience, in the process, we've understood 4 major areas that we thought we should focus upon. Going forward, how we look at those 4 areas in the next 5 years is something that we are here to talk about. I'll just touch upon those 4 areas quickly. First one is the reach. Reach is because mental health professionals are concentrated in the metro cities. Because of the concentration, people outside the metro cities, which are the nooks and corners or the towns and the villages of India, that's where mental health professionals are not available. So reach is a big problem in terms of mental health support system. Second is more about awareness. Third is affordability. Affordability because since mental health professionals are very few in India, about 4,000 or 5,000 all mental health professionals, it's beyond the reach of millions of Indians, honestly. And the fourth area is stigma. Stigma because we all, as Indians, are moving around in communities. So because of that, there's a lot of stigma around it, and we all are getting influenced through the community culture that mental is something that should not be talked about, or something should not come out in the open. So some of the pointers that I have in my mind from a solution statement point of view, which is, first one is obviously the reach one. Reach is what we were thinking is looking at Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. These are the 3 areas which are in the red zone, and there are a lot of mental health issues amongst people in these three states, and a lot of suicides also happening. Because of that, we thought that let's focus on that area and try and reach the nooks and corners of these 3 states, and then grow our initiative and reach out to more and more people across India and beyond. Second is about awareness. So what we thought is from an individual point of view, we reach out to the families, we educate them around mental health, and so that they are able to take care of the person who is suffering from mental illnesses. From a corporate point of view, we reach out to the CXOs, the CHROs and the HR heads, and provide solutions around emotional well-being of their employees. Third is about affordability. We look at a technology platform like a mobile app or a chatbot. From a mobile app perspective, what we thought is how do we reach out to millions of people and provide a solution that is affordable and something that with a lot of content into it, and people can look at the content at their specific time frames, and they can get benefited from it. The fourth one is stigma. Stigma is how do we reduce stigma? So probably what we are trying to think is through the NGO route. So we tie up with a lot of NGOs who are working at a grassroots level, and CSR activities is another area that comes to my mind. So these initiatives can help significantly contribute towards reducing stigma around mental health.
The World Health Organization states that there are 800,000 people approximately who die every year because of suicide. But then one stat which gets missed out is that there are 16 million people, because out of 1 of every 20 attempts is the person losing on life. So you have around 16 million people who have gone through that stage where they are thinking life is not really worth holding on. Around 1.7 billion people who in their lifetime will go through mental health disorder.
Over 190 million people in India require mental health support.
So at layer 1, there is a big chunk of education which we need to give off to the general population. So education in terms of the stigmas. So usually people who go through mental illness, they are looked upon as either mad, dangerous, weak, There is a lot of pity as well, but we need to convert that into empathy and listening.
While there is a problem of the number of psychologists, psychotherapists and mental health professionals who are available per person, it is also a large issue with a general social consciousness that we have, or the general consciousness that we have developed in terms of our understanding of mental health. So the larger reason that we have seen is the lack of awareness that people have, the stigma that is associated with mental health awareness, which kind of creates fear or shield for people to come out and talk about it in open, and that is what has been stopping for people to come out, express themselves or discuss mental health even as an individual in family or even in corporates as an employee, to come out and talk about it openly. And that is what I think is the major reason why really the care concern or the push that mental health awareness should have gotten in India we've not received, and that will be the major focus area that we'll be looking forward to. It's a huge task to reach out to 160 million people, but I'm sure it is not a one-day job, and we will take time and effort to reach out to that kind of an audience. So currently, just to give you an idea, while we started this just a year back, and we've been working our way out to reach out to as many people. To this day, we are reaching out to close to about 6,500 people a month who are interested in listening to us, what we're speaking, what we're talking. And while we're pushing our services to people, pushing our information to people, we reach to about 7,500 people on a monthly basis. That has kind of created a focused crowd, created a difference that we made in about lives of about 10,000 people. And we're reaching consistently to 25,000 people on a monthly basis, which is a target base that we are currently making an effect into.
So stigma eradication is step one which we need to go for. The second layer which we see is trying to provide them services which I guess a lot of companies are doing today, which include simple things like one-on-one counseling or group counseling, support groups, etc.
Let me spend with you a few moments talking to you about the current corporate situation globally and more specifically in India. So worldwide, common mental health disorders affect more than 300 million people. Out of those 300 million, a majority, which is 70% of these people, are employed. In India, 80% of employees have showed symptoms of anxiety, and 55% of employees have showed symptoms of depression. There are only 1.7 million companies registered in India. Out of those 1.7 million companies, only 1,000 companies are registered that actually run a formal EAP program. The World Health Organization estimates that India will suffer an economic loss amounting to a staggering $1.03 trillion from mental health conditions. So let's talk about how we want to work together at SAL. Our vision at SAL is very ambitious. Every person in corporate, regardless of their disability, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, economic status, has the right and responsibilities to achieve the full potential into our society and to be treated very equally with the same compassion, dignity and respect. Let's talk about EAPs. So what are EAPs? EAPs are all about employee assistance programs. At SAL, we also call them employee happiness programs. So the EAPs will have 4 benefits for the corporates and the businesses that choose SAL. We are going to focus on supporting your business and you as an employer. We will help you manage your complex employee situation. B, we will support all your employees, no matter what size they are, be it a company from the size of 10 to 10,000 and beyond. We will identify the stress levels and the distress levels, which could be because of personal, professional, or even a substance abuse. We will look after the preventive care. So generally, EAPs may not look after the preventive care, but at SAL, we try to do that differently by providing education and on-site training. And last, we would also look after the emergency consultation, which is every member at the SAL team would be available for your business any time of the day. Our aim is to grow to be the top EAP provider in the region, creating a social impact and helping workplaces solve the mental health issues.
But we also intend to take it to kids, because till the time you reach the age of 14, by the time you reach the age of 14, your personality is starting to form, and you can have any kind of disorders seeping in at that particular age. So going out to schools and colleges, etc. So that's another part of the plan.
Let's shift focus to a more promising part of our population, that is the teenage kids under the age of 14. Studies show that all cases of mental health illnesses start around the age of 14, and around 75% of them develop before the age of 25. There are about 1.5 million schools in India and around 25 crore students, an approximate number, but less than 1% of these engage in life skill programs. The NCRB data shows that 10,159 students committed suicide in 2018, an increase from 9,900 in 2017. As per data from the Department of Higher Education, 27 students across 10 IITs committed suicide between 2014 and 2019. This is primarily the consequence of not addressing the issues during childhood, which transit to adulthood. Where fresh out of adolescence, these individuals are they are fresh out of colleges or universities, and they transit direct to the workplace, where they come face to face with the real world, but are unable to cope with the issues on hand. We would like to look at reaching out to around 5,000 schools in the coming years, because SAL believes that by starting to educate teenage kids about managing and coping their mental health, we ensure that they turn into healthy and hence happy individuals. Hence, devise programs like life coaching webinars, art and sound workshops, etc. to be a part of our student happiness programs. SAL education mission is to supplement the current education system with life sciences, that is, handhold and train the kids to manage their emotional well-being so that they grow up to be healthy, happy individuals.
And eventually, obviously, when someone is suffering, they come to our team of counselors led by education.
Our existing mental health system probably does not do enough justice to individuals suffering from a mental disorder. Now, this is evident by a ratio of around 7,000 mental health professionals available to cater to a population of around 100 crore. Being a part of the SAL core team, my role is to help each and every individual who reaches out to SAL through various touch points, namely SAL Cafe, SAL support groups, one-on-one sessions, chatbot, mobile app, etc. The idea is to keep it low cost, affordable and accessible to enable maximum number of people to reach out to us. Hence, programs like individual counseling sessions, either a face-to-face or a video call session, mobile clinics, etc. Also, programs like SAL support groups, free webinars to highlight a few burning issues have already been devised, implemented, and will continue to do so.
So these are the areas which we want to and have to work in the future. We've learned that we alone are not going to make it, because the issue is way more complicated than what we can see on a piece of paper.
Unavailability of therapists when and where needed is a question. 40% of the people have to travel at least 10 kilometers in India to get counseling services. 2 psychiatrists per 2 lakh population. So, the geographical spread is also quite uneven and restricted to big cities. Mental health related queries grew a massive 367% in non-metro cities. So again, our concentration will have to, so from human resources, we'll have to, cover areas where, we can deliver our services to 2-tier and 3-tier cities, because that's where chunk of inquiries also coming in, and the services in the mental health space is not able to reach there. We have around 10 core people working as a core team. Also, we have 10 plus psychiatrists and partners who are from varied backgrounds and delivering multilingual counseling services. And also, we have 20 odd plus volunteers who have come to join and contribute to SAL's mission and vision, and they have chosen projects which are close to their heart. SAL basically, if I'm talking about all this, is SAL basically believes and follows a circular organization.
I'm happy to share at SAL, we have positively touched lives of many people, many individuals, and hopefully improved their abilities to deal with emotional downs.
My experience with SAL Foundation has been extremely good. I have seen so many tremendous changes in myself over the past year, and all of this has been facilitated with the help of my therapist at SAL. So thank you, SAL. And I would recommend everybody to experience the power of therapy.
I was struggling with anxiety after having a very hard year. Losing a loved one to suicide, going through heartbreak, managing relationships, and taking up new responsibilities at work. I will always be grateful to Ashleisha for listening to my needs, providing solid advice with relatable examples, and for showing a very genuine desire to help in a non-judgmental manner. Her empathy and compassion for others is her strongest trait. This builds trust with her clients and makes them feel comfortable to share, and most importantly feel heard and accepted that their pain is very real. Through my ongoing sessions with Ashleisha, I've really overcome a lot of hurdles. I was promoted in my job, found peace with heartbreak, grew in confidence, and became more aware of myself, my strengths and flaws, and ways to cope. So I want to thank you, Ashleisha, for helping me through one of the hardest times in my life and helping me find my feet again so I can now continue to help others in return. You make a big difference in the lives of others.
As part of Umang, our wellness program, we were looking to partner with professional mental health experts. And earlier this year, we got introduced to this young and passionate team of individuals at SAL. Over the last 3 months, they have encouraged our employees to open up and have supported our organization in our journey of normalizing mental issues and holistic well-being. Their experts have been interacting with our employees and their families, and we have managed to take on the role of confidant for some of them. As the custodian of people function at Thought Focus, I am grateful for their association and appreciate their sense of initiative and ownership. Thank you, Team SAL, and wishing you a successful journey ahead.
I heard about SAL Foundation through a friend. I was going through a lot of mental turmoil professionally as well as personally. I couldn't handle a lot of my stuff at that time. To be honest, I was very reluctant to begin with. But Ashleisha, who was my therapist and is my therapist, was very patient, and she heard me out without being judgmental and put me at ease. I got some major insights at that time, and I was able to sort or at least understand a lot of my issues I was struggling with, particularly at that time. It's been a blessing to be associated with SAL Foundation, especially Ashleisha, who I can reach out whenever I feel the need to.
The third layer and which is the layer where we are looking forward to creating technology as a platform to go and connect to as many humans as possible. So technology will help us connect with whoever can provide any kind of service which can improve things. So it can be as simple as somebody wants to tell his or her own personal story, that I went through this, I survived. How do we ensure that that story is reached to someone else who might take inspiration from that story? So technology will connect that. How do we connect a person who wakes up every morning suffering in his or her marriage or suffering in a job relationship for years together and wants that morning dose of motivation? How do we connect the mindfulness and meditation sessions which Ashlesha voices so beautifully to those people? How do we connect that? How do we connect a person who is a night owl and wants to be a good listener and is looking to help out people just by the mere act of listening? He is ready to listen or she is ready to listen. How do we connect that person with somebody who's at 2 a.m. frustrated because of lack of sleep? And how do we connect these two? As one of the objectives for the next year, what we are looking at is the development of this tech piece, which is the app. SAL, along with the hundreds of other organizations, we intend to make this as a collective consciousness so our future generations, centuries down the line, will see this as a science and will realize what mental health is all about. So this cannot be solved by a handful of psychologists and psychiatrists. 8 people sitting in a room and drawing some charts and stuff can't change the world. And I think even 8 companies or 8 organizations like SAL cannot change everything. So we need more and more people, more and more organizations like us to keep driving this. We'd request whoever wants to join in our journey and try and make a difference in this country and eventually in Asia as well. And this is our request to you. If you want to join this movement, help us out, save a life, then give us your time. And time, we look at listeners. So we'll be coming out soon with a program to onboard SAL listeners, SAL buddies. So we're looking at 2,000 over 5 years. So obviously we'll start very soon. That is one area where give us your time. This would be across engineering, content, listening. Counselors, we'll need counselors. So we want counselors and psychotherapists, psychologists, psychiatrists to come forward and join our movement. And then see how your little contribution is actually making difference to someone's life and is actually be able to save a life.
In a world with so much noise,
Listen to that silent cry.
And if they don't break the silence?
Then you say a kind word.
What about distance between hearts?
So just hold a hand.
Save a life.
Save a life.
save a life.
Save a life. Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life. Save a life. Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.
Save a life.